Tonight, anger over abandoned health facilities in communities across the country.
When
the health minister visited me, he promised the contractors would be on site in 2 weeks, but to no avail.
End of the month, they will mobilize the site and start working seriously.
We have details as Health Minister rejects claims these projects have been left to rot.
The president is not talking out of nothing. We needed to complete what we came to meet. Whilst we planned to do our own, we couldn't have left all the 10 in East Central, 5 in Greater Accra, about 4 in Ashanti, and some other places.
Top Story is brought to you by Gassam, the nation builder. Vodafone, the future is exciting, ready. Bond savings and loans, your success, our passion.
There are 88 districts in our country without district hospital. We have 6 new regions without regional hospital. That is why government has decided to undertake a major investment in our healthcare infrastructure, the largest in our history. We will this year begin constructing 88 hospitals in the districts without hospital. Quality, standard design 100-bed hospital with accommodation for doctors, nurses, and other health workers.
And that announcement continues to attract public reaction. Tonight, we take a trip to some of the districts to check the situation on the ground. We start from Kumewu, where the district hospital is in a state of deterioration. The facility is one of 7 projects started in 2014, but has been abandoned for about 2 years now. Love FM's Nanaya Ojima reports that residents are unhappy about the development.
On a tour of the Ashanti region by President Akufo-Addo last year, Health Minister Kwaku Agyeman-Manu assured contractors would move to site few weeks from the day of the visit.
End of the month, they will mobilize the site and start working seriously.
This was in October 2019. Government says it found only $38.3 million of $175 million allocated for 6 district hospitals and a residential facility in various parts of the country. Kumewu and Fomena are part of the facilities financed by the United Kingdom Export Financing, and work was expected to be completed in 5 years. In July last year, ahead of the president's visit, the health minister gave the first assurance of resumption of work.
I've got to go ahead from government that the contractor should continue with 3. That we're getting close to completion. The Kumewu one is about 60% complete, and therefore in Ashanti region, these 2 could start.
Nothing has happened since then at the 120-bed facility site at Kumewu. Weeds continue to swallow the structures. Not long ago, an inferno swept through the place, raising everything to the ground. Some of the equipment have been carried away from the area, but still there are few ashes of the polytank and pipes here. Structures meant for staff residential accommodation attached to the hospital are almost done. Some of them have already been roofed. Here is Omanhene of Kumewu, Berima Trinibu Akodua, who sums up sentiments of his people over unfulfilled promises of fixing the hospital.
When the health minister visited me, he promised the contractors would be on site in 2 weeks, but to no avail. The president also visited, and we haven't heard anything since. I organized the community to weed the place often in wait for them, but they never come. Our people are tired of weeding the place.
As COVID-19 pushes government to embark on such health infrastructure expansion, the people of Kumewu can only hope what they refer to as the game changer would receive the needed attention. From Kumewu for Joy News, Nanaya Ojima reporting.
And that's the situation in the Kumeru area. We're thankful to have the District Chief Executive, Mr. Samuel Ejikumu, joining us on the line. We're grateful for your time here on Top Stories. So tell us about the situation with this particular district hospital. How come it's been abandoned for this long?
Good evening to your cherished listeners. It's true. The project has not entirely been abandoned. It is as a work of the previous government engagement with the contractor that led to misunderstanding between the government of Ghana now and then NMS Construction Company Limited. As you are aware, the contract came into effect with respect to respecting the tax waiver that was given to the NMS Construction Company Limited, so that whatever that they will import, be it prefab materials or any other material that they are supposed to use, they will enjoy tax rebate or tax waiver. Secondly, the LC, and you should understand all of respectively that 2016 September was the day or the date that the contractor was supposed to complete the project, and we couldn't do so. Invariably, the government of Ghana then should have extended the contract and then renew the LC, that is the letter of credit. The government of Ghana then refused to do that. So when the contractors packed off from the site on 16th October 2016, when they were waiting for the government to respond to the needs or the demands that is tabled before them. However, the government of Ghana, under Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, through the Minister for Health and then the then Director General for Ghana Health Service, came to Kumeru to assess the situation. And then they went back to renew the letter of credit and also restored the tax waiver agreement with them. UKF, United Kingdom, and that of the NMS, together with Ministry of Health, Engineering Department, and Finance Department, all came to the site. And they got to know that certain things weren't right. For example, as we speak, 43% of is the work done. But clearly, the work that has been done, they've not been paid entirely. And then we are also engaging them. We are also not being fair to them. When I say we, that's the government of Ghana, not being fair to them in terms of respecting the tenets of contract. So clearly, when the Minister of Health told them that, well, let's go back to the drawing board, now go back to site work so that we can resolve other issues. Based on the forensic report that came out, I think the people became a bit anxious that no, we need to go back.
Mr. Ejikumu, give us some clarity on this. You mentioned earlier that certain things were not done right. What exactly are you talking about?
As I said, the government of Ghana then, and that is the previous government, did not renew the letter of credit that expired in September 2016. And then the tax waivers that they were supposed to enjoy, because they were bringing in materials, they were importing materials to Ghana and then to the site. They were not, the government of Ghana never respected that contract, that aspect of it. And then also, as I said, as you work, then they will measure and pay you. Ghana government defaulted. So when there was a change of government, and let me say that on 2016 October 16, they packed out from the site. That is, NMS left Kumeru. So clearly, we need to establish that before 2016 elections, that is the December 7th election, they had already left Kumeru, because the September demand that they made, that is, we have to renew their letter of credit, and then also the tax waiver that they were supposed to enjoy, and then the remeasurement of the project that they executed in terms of payment. Government of Ghana also defaulted. So
Mr. Ejikumu, within 3 years, we haven't even been able to work out all these, because you've talked about the contract agreements, the letters of credit, but you've moved into sites at some point also. So how long will it take for us to clear all these discrepancies?
As I'm speaking, His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, under the Minister for Health, they've, as I said, the letter of credit has been restored, the tax waiver agreement has been reached upon, and then where we had to do variations. And as I said in the morning on Joy News, I said that the initial amount that is the amount left is $38 million. Already the UKF have disbursed $138 million for the 6 projects. That's Kumawu inclusive. But if we were able to complete that of Dodowa, Kumawu, Fomena, Garu, Abetifi, Sekendi, Takrade, still uncompleted. So clearly, you could see that the $38 million left cannot complete even Kumawu, Abetifi, and then that of Fomena. So when they came to site and do the variations, what happened was that we needed $93 million before they can come back to site and then complete almost all complete the work and then give us the hospital. And remember, this is a 10-key project, so they were not supposed to leave and come back.
Well, your people don't have the patience for all that you're talking about. All they want to hear is when exactly the work will be, completed. Do you have an answer for them quickly?
Yes, I do, because the government of Ghana under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and then the Minister for Health, they've assured us. That is why I'm saying that there were boardroom discussions going on, and that agreement has been. I'm saying, as I'm speaking now, you could see that in no time the contractors will come back to site because all the demands that they tabled, the government of Ghana is able to give it to them.
We're grateful for your time, Mr. Samuel Ejukum. Let's move to Abetifi in the Eastern region, from where Joy News correspondent Maxwell Kudeko reports.
The facility was funded by the UK government at a cost of $175 million. Out of the 7 facilities, 1 was executed and commissioned at Dodowa in the Greater Accra region. The 120 capacity district hospital should have 2 operating theaters, theater recovery unit, ICU, male and female surgical wards, male and female medical wards, accident and emergency ward, obstetrics, gynecology, pediatric ward, and a public health unit. Other facilities include dental unit, pharmacy, dispensary, laboratory, blood bank, consulting rooms, reception, waiting areas, record office, and accommodation for care staff. It was designed with the capacity of expanding from 120 beds to 200 beds with 21st century equipment and facilities. In Abetifi, construction work started in February 2015 and came to a standstill in October 2016. The facility is about 40% complete and has been abandoned. Part of the uncompleted walls are almost collapsing, whilst roofs of the care staff accommodation have been ripped off. The place has been taken by weeds and a heaven for reptiles. Meanwhile, Minister of Health, Mr. Kweku Adjumamenu, in October 2019 assured construction works will continue in the shortest possible time. He, however, hinted that the ministry detected some misappropriation of funds in the Build to Care project and called for a forensic audit. For now, many people struggle to access good health care within the area, but this beautiful state-of-the-art facility has been left to the mercy of the weather. Maxwell Kudeko report from Ko Abetifi.
Now, from the eastern region, we head to the western. Our correspondent Inathalia Kwanza reports that one of such abandoned facilities in Sekendi Takrade is made up of a staff accommodation, an infectious disease center, 2 operating theaters, and a theater recovery unit, among others. Here's a report.
Behind me is an over 400 capacity accommodation project for the staff of Takrade Hospital, popularly known as the European Hospital. The project started in 2014 with support from DFID, and the UK Export Finance remains abandoned since 2017. This is just the first phase of a total project, with the second phase including an infectious disease center. But as you can see, the project is yet to be completed. So, as to whether the second project will be added or not, we are yet to find out.
Dr. Fred J. Otubwa is the medical superintendent here at the Takrade Hospital, though the hospital had received calls some 6 months ago after declaration that all abandoned projects by the previous government was going to be completed. Dr. Otubwa says the hospital is yet to see the contractor on site. In this pandemic, he believes the second phase of the project would have been very useful to the Western region.
The mitigating factor has always been accommodation. We are going to start live and then start it this way, saying that you have to form a facility for us to do some advances in order to get a place to lay their head before they can deliver. So if the staff accommodation has been finished, it has gone a long way to enhance our health delivery in this facility. The second phase 2, when you are moving out here, when you get to the roadside, you see that there's our casualty. That's the place we put up or earmark for the COVID-19. That we go a holding area and a treatment area. Today, I've seen that if the second phase has been carried on, it would have been a need to pay that. We have a place already there, but unfortunately, that the project never took off from the ground.
That's Natalia's report from the Western region. We'll go on the phone and speak to my colleagues, Richard Kojonyako and Ivy Setoji. I'll start with you, Ivy. You are in the Volta region. What have you checked on? I'm sure you've been checking on abandoned projects. What have you come up with?
Yeah, so in a particular town, that is an island in the Angogan district, where there is a health facility. This health facility has not been in use for some time now. It has just been there, according to residents. That is the only health facility in the area. And if government can do something or put nurses there so that it can be used. And also in some, we are told there is a particular one that is yet to be well finished for it to be used. So for now, we are checking other districts to see what will happen.
Well, so that's my colleague Ivy Setoji. We'll stay on the phone lines. Richard Kojonyako is in the Central region. Richard, you've been checking on these projects as well. Tell us what you found.
Well, Emefa, so I first ran checks on the 10 polyclinics that were started by the previous administration, and these are Besiansi, Gowa, Demurampong, Briwa, Eti, Sonkwa, Bimpoeja, and then other places as well. But these projects have all been completed and commissioned. In fact, the minister came on a scheduled tour and then commissioned all of them. These were not done without controversies as to who should be given the credit for these projects. Beyond that, I have also visited the Chupra Health Facility. That facility was abandoned, but there are now contractors on site. These contractors have been on site for the past few months, so I can tell you currently works are still ongoing. Then we have the Kaswa Polyclinic, or there is a facility at Kaswa that was also completed by the previous administration. It wasn't put to use, but my checks now indicate that it is now being used. In fact, they are using it for maternity services now, and there is a particular one at Asenenkan that was also completed by the previous administration. When I ran checks there, former DC told me that they completed everything, but they were left with some medical equipment and some fittings for the facility to be put to use. But this facility has still not been put to use. As I speak with you now, I returned from there this afternoon, and then there are now renovation works that are being done on this facility. We also have the Chufo Himan district. This entire district, the district facility, the health facility there has only 2 beds. And so it serves as a referral center for about 30,000 people in that particular district. But that district hospital is in the pale shadow of itself. And then when you come to Cape Coast, where we call the Metro Hospital, it is in a deplorable state because of its proximity to the sea. You see the fans falling off the windows. And then people have expressed surprise at the way that facility has been left to the current state it is in now. And so these are some of the things I've found out.
Okay, that's my colleague Richard Kojonyako from the Central region. Now we can listen to the Health Minister, Kweku Agyemang-Manu, dismissing claims that government has abandoned health facilities started by the previous administration. He spoke at a media briefing yesterday.
As I speak today, we are negotiating on the value for money report for the contractor, and soon we will mobilize for us to do short cutting to start construction of Koforidua Regional Hospital. We are scheduled to do district hospitals at Owasi, a trauma hospital at Enyinem, and rehabilitation of the NUNC government hospital. This is part of our program this year and next year. We've also got parliamentary approval, and we are about finishing details that we can do to enable contractors that have been selected with funding to go to do Shama Hospital project and General Hospital. We have again scheduled to construct a urology and nephrology center of excellence at Kolebushin Hospital. If you have completed all arrangements and engagement with the Sando Hydro project, by now 22 district hospitals will have been started. So the president is not talking out of nothing. We needed to complete what we came to meet. Once we planned to do our own, we couldn't have left all the 10 in East Central, 5 in Greater Accra, about 4 in Ashanti, and some other places. But when we worked and realized that, yes, we have done all, we also need to leave legacy. We started going into our own area. Now, to re-emphasize that government has never abandoned any health facility that was started before assumption of office in 2017.
That's the Health Minister, Kweku Agyemang-Manu, at that press briefing yesterday in dismissing claims that government has abandoned health facilities started by the previous administration. You heard from some of my colleagues. We started off from the Ashanti region, where Love FM Sanaya Ojima gave us a report on the Kumewu District Hospital. We heard from the DCE in that area insisting or explaining the delays in the project. And then we headed to Abetifi in the eastern region, where our correspondent Maxwell Kudeko has been giving us a brief on that hospital. Then to the western region, Takrady government hospital there, and Natalia Kwanza has been checking on the situation. And then also we went to my colleagues Richard Kojonyako, and then of course Ivy Setoji in the Volta region. We'll be speaking to the coalition of NGOs in health, Gabriel Benaku. They've done their own checks. Yesterday, speaking to Joy News Prime, they mentioned that 28 projects from their last count had been abandoned. We'll check on them shortly on that as well. You're still listening to Top Story.
Mix the cement in correct proportional. Hey, contractor. Hey, Baganye. What's your soul? Yeah, Malande. Sorry, I said. When you attend the year of return, Ankasa. Hey, contractor. A danya wasting ye. Hey, what would you make feel it too much? Who project here? Me friend gas them from top to down. If you are a gas them. Hey, yes, solid pa. Hey, you see gas them, man. If for soup in our do. On your quality, no question. Extra gas them cement to be I will cook a crab bee. Over 5,000 plus communities. And a gas them. I donations. SCC schools, I built a clinic. Now, when a packaging now, what's Shadara and environmentally friendly?
Never compromise on quality. Choose the value Gassam offers you always. Gassam, the nation builder.
Thanks for staying with us here on Top Story. We've been talking about the anger that's growing over abandoned health facilities in communities across the country, and that's following the president's announcement of 88 new district hospitals and 6 regional hospitals to be constructed within a year. We've heard from the economists and the health economists as well on this issue, but let's hear from the coalition of NGOs in health. We've also heard from my colleagues across the country, some of our correspondents giving us the situation on the ground. Mr. Gabriel Benaku joins us on Top Story. Good evening, sir, and thank you very much for your time here on Top Story. So I would want to first find out what your own reading of the situation on the ground is. Yesterday, we had you on Joy News Prime talk about 28 projects. As at the last count, you've been checking on 28 projects. But tell us about your own reading of the situation on the ground as of today. Hello, Mr. Benaku.
Hello.
Thank you very much for your time here on Top Story once again. So I'm asking about your own reading of the situation on the ground when it comes to abandoned health facilities.
Okay, thank you and good evening. I think before I make my submission, I would like to state categorically that the coalition of NGOs is not against government adding 88 health facilities to the existing ones. We have been very clear from day one. Since 2017, we have always asked that government should add as stipulated in their manifesto. So if they want to do more, so be it. But we are mindful of 2 critical issues. that we have to continue to upgrade or continue to finish what has been existed to allow communities to use them, and then we add on. So that is our position. Now, as at 12 noon, my regional representatives are able to give me at least 53 health facilities, either completed, not commissioned, or abandoned halfway, and it's normally between 60% to 100% complete. And these are within 2017 and up to date. And so that is the feedback we had from the ground. Mm-hmm. However, we have also looked at areas that the health facility has been put to maximum use. We are talking about the Savannah region now. In fact, the Fufusi Solar Road construction brought in the regional hospital upgrading and some chip compound along the roadside. Then all of them are fully put to use, which is very good. In the Upper East, we do have some health facilities. Most of them are put to use. In the Sechere Afram Plains, that is one of the hinterland in Ghana. All health facilities there are actually being put to good use. And we think that we are not just saying that there's nothing, but we said there are considerable amount of facilities that has been completed by the current government, which started by the previous government, which they have put to use. But we are against the minister making the statement that there's nothing like he has abandoned any health facility. And we have listened to him, and we have consistently seen all the statements he made. And that is why we want to draw his attention that unless he retracts that statement, otherwise we are saying that he has abandoned a lot of health facilities, or he has not commissioned health facilities that has been developed by the previous government, and they are waiting for use.
Well, so listening to the health minister, for instance, he explains that they've not abandoned, but of course, something is being done about the situation. We heard from the DCE, for instance, saying that there were some discrepancies in the system with the previous contract. That's how come the project has stalled. But I would want to find out from you, from the reports that you got from your men on the ground, you mentioned that over 50 facilities have, in various stages, have been abandoned. But did they give reasons? I'm sure they've been finding out from the various DCEs, MCEs and all. Did they state why the project had stalled? Did they say anything of a sort?
Yes, there are so many reasons, but largely it is just a lack of government commitment, largely. But some of them, they actually indicated that the some MPs want to continue with it. They have had dialogue and discussion with some of the communities that they have the intention to come and help them to complete them. And some of them has been community initiated, which is adopted by the Ghana Health Service, but because of lack of funding, they have been abandoned. But largely, their government of Ghana projects started to midway, some more than halfway, others have been completed, but there are issues. And the other issue is that some of them have conflict issues, and largely between the Ghana Health or Minister of Health and the contractor. And we think that the minister should not allow conflict to affect the speedy completion of those facilities. There are guidelines and there are rules, and the government of Ghana is the owner of the project. They hired the contractor, so the contractor cannot be powerful than the project owner. I haven't seen it anywhere in the world. As a project management specialist, the contractor can never and ever be powerful and instructional than the project sponsor and holder. And so it is just low commitment on the part of government, for that matter, the minister, to push the button to ensure that if there are criminal issues attached to contractual issues, he has the right to terminate. If there are modifications, you have the right to get a committee to deal with it once and for all. Because as you wait, people are dying. As we wait, people are not getting quality of care. As we wait, our health system is compromised. And so there's nothing like we are against the minister, but we are taking his words and we are using that to draw his attention that he must do something.
Okay. So finally, and going forward, though, you've mentioned that you are not against the construction of these new district hospitals as announced by the president. But would you rather we channel these resources into completing this abandoned project before starting new ones? Is that really the case for you?
No, that's exactly our position. I said, how much money has government gotten now? And how much can he put into the existing one to finish them? And what will be left? If you look at the government of Ghana, their party manifesto, which brought them to power, they were not supposed to construct 88 health facilities.
But it's worth also noting that the minister had stated that they've secured funding to complete some of these abandoned projects before starting new ones. I'm sure that has been brought to your attention as well.
But he did not tell the president to tell Ghanaians about the arrangement they made and got additional funding. You see, I keep on saying that the messages and the communications are confusing. Now, you cannot allow the number one of this country to talk to Ghanaians, and that can generate a lot of debate. So you give adequate information and timely information for the president to announce. So if I were the minister, I would tell the president that, please, we have 55 health facilities that are not complete. This is how much we will need to finish them, and this will be the amount allocated, and it can also take care of about 20 or 30 new health facilities. No Ghanaian will be speaking against it. But Ghanaians are speaking because they see that there are facilities near completion and you are not talking about them. Their fear is that you abandon them from previous experience and then you go ahead with your own. So in project implementation, especially in construction, we have what we call the force majeure. There are certain conditions you do not have. And Ghana, we experience that, especially now that we haven't started construction. There's going to be deep rainfall. The meteorological department has already warned Ghana, and that we are going to experience different kinds of rainfall, and that can affect construction of new health facilities. Did they factor that into the plan? And can we use, given time for the government of Ghana, can they use the rest of the month to be able to do that? So these are technical and environmental factors that should inform the president to make the statement. That's what we keep on saying. Don't surprise Ghanaians, because every Ghanaian is a coach now, every Ghanaian is a referee, and every Ghanaian is speak in their health. So you cannot prevent people from speaking, because we are not just spectators, we are citizens.
We are grateful for your time. That's Mr. Gabriel Benaku. He's with the Coalition of NGOs in Health. That's it for Top Story, brought to you by GASM, the nation builder. Vodafone, the future is exciting, ready. Bond savings and loans, your success, our passion. We're 2 minutes into Newsnight.